Welcome back. You're watching Hard Copy on Channels Television. You can follow our conversation by sending a mail to hardcopy@channelstv.com or tweeting at @CityVHardCopy. Professor Odinkalu has been our guest, sharing his perspective on the conflict between farmers and herdsmen. State policing is one of the solutions that the federal government is considering to stop this menace, as well as that of kidnapping. And what does the professor make of it?
State policing, as far as I'm concerned, right now is a terrible idea. There are abuses to the federal police, as it is. And we don't have the institutional capabilities to deal with abuses by the police. And state policing basically is saying multiply the spectrum of abuses into 37, 38 places. That is one federal police, 36 state polices, and the Federal Capital Police. Now, the zone of terror that you're going to unleash with that is going to be disastrous. A lot of people tell me, first of all, there are two arguments. One is, look, you have an enlightened place like Lagos, state police is going to work, state police is needed. But there is only one Lagos in Nigeria, okay? And Lagos is a melting pot. Everybody gets to Lagos, and so in that mix of communities from all over the country, you get enlightenment. Not every part of Nigeria is a melting pot. Most of Nigeria is very narrow. That's one. Number two, they say, well, it's going to be optional. Not every state government needs to have it. But once one state government gets state police, every state government is going to arm its state police. Every state governor is going to use it and destroy every iota of opposition, every iota of anything against it. Look at where we are. Have you heard of any opposition party winning any seat in local elections in Nigeria?
But that is happening in spite of the fact that we don't have state police.
Thank you. So add state police to that mix. There will be all of these people trying to do anything, say anything in the states will be run out of town. I'm sorry. I'm very clear about state police. It's a terrible idea.
But we can only run for so long. That's what some people say. So, for instance, now, on this farmer and herdsman crisis, you find that Governor Ayodele Fayose has implemented a law on it, and he's empowered some marshals to ensure that the law is enforced, which ordinarily, assuming Ekiti State had its own local policing system, perhaps the police there would have had a responsibility to
centralize the police. Since 2006, the Namadami Presidential Commission on Police Report on police reform, headed by Deputy Inspector General of Police, retired Muhammad Namadami, in 2006, recommended decentralization of policing. 2008, MD Yusuf Presidential Commission on Police Reform recommended decentralization of police.
What is the difference between decentralizing and having state policing?
Decentralization means you can have a central command and control structure. But even more than command and control, you have central doctrine and training and standards. Now, when you have state police, you have 37, 38 decentralized forms of despotism. Anybody, and you know what? You get out of your state road, there's state police there. You get into your federal road in the same territory, there's federal police. You're being extorted from different ends, and there is nothing anybody can do about it, because we have licensed all of that. Look, do I like this? I'd like to see a situation in which we get to the point where we can trust government and politicians with power. Sadly, we're not there yet.
Let's quickly look at another matter now. Let's look at the NHRC. And only recently you had the...
I left it, so I don't know anything that happens there.
But before you left it, I think some work was commissioned there. And shortly after you came out of it, there was this new report of the NHRC, which was titled Phase 1 of the Final Report of an Independent Review of Evidence of Gross Violations of the Right to Participate in Government, to Public Service, and to Fair Trial through the Election Process Petition in Nigeria 2007. A very long title, and the most controversial one. Why do you think that the NHRC had to go through the court judgments to arrive at some of the indictments that it was able to get?
No, I initiated that project. I saw it through. I actually transmitted to the Attorney General, I believe on the 1st of December 2015, the current Attorney General and Minister of Justice, the list of indictments in that report. There is nothing new in the report to begin with. And that's what I mean by we've got to routinize and normalize accountability. Now, we've had elections, terrible elections in the country, particularly in 2003 and 2007. And the courts, having taken evidence, on a balance of probabilities, admittedly, but in some cases also beyond reasonable doubt, did come out with some very damning indictments of human beings in high and low places in political positions in the country. And the people just went on like nothing happened. They didn't challenge the indictments, they went on ahead, and many of them continued to exercise responsible positions in the country. And my view was, that's not on. You can do is address your little space of Nigeria. And I felt, to the extent that I had the little space of the NHRC to work with, we had to exercise some responsibility. I was under tremendous stress over that. Lots of people wanted to get it stopped by different means, some of the means not lawful, some means that I can't even discuss here. But I'm glad that we've got it done, and it's in the hands, first, the former Attorney General, immediate past, Adoke. We gave him 41 names. He wanted them buried. The current Attorney General, as I said, again, that was done by official transmission. He didn't do anything about them. He wanted them buried. This Attorney General, I transmitted 117 names to him. He's done nothing about them. And that's why when people tell me about we are fighting corruption, I laugh. Because if you're fighting corruption, there is no party affiliation to those lists. There are APC people there, there are PDP people there, there are other party people there. Look at them and tell Nigerians what you're going to do with these people. Because if we cannot fix the standards of people in political office, we are not going to fix our country.
Okay, so you've definitely served at the NHRC and you saw what it was like there. There were definitely challenges. What was it like trying to enforce the rights or to ensure that the rights of Nigerians were protected, especially those who came to the NHRC for protection?
I think public service is something any Nigerian should feel privileged and honored to do, and I feel privileged and honored to have been at the National Human Rights Commission for the little while I was there. I think also that if you believe in public service, you should not accept congratulations when you are appointed. But I think it's offensive for people to congratulate you when you've done nothing. But if you've left office and people believe you should be congratulated at that point, that's fine. Now, I do think our biggest problem is evidence in our recurrent deficit, which is that we increasingly see public service as an avenue for subsistence and for making money, not to provide service to our people. And I saw a lot of that at the commission. I remember the first retreat we had with the staff, putting together a list of priorities for staff, beginning with service delivery and ending with spending the resources of the commission on the staff. And the staff prioritize spending the resources of the commission on themselves. They put service delivery last. That reflects the general viewpoint of where we are with our public institutions, and I think that's terrible. I do think that we need to get into public service people who are willing to go the extra mile to provide service to our people. It comes at a price. When I left the National Human Rights Commission and I went into hospital, I was hospitalized for quite a while, actually, because the stresses, particularly of the last 9 months of my time at the commission, were terrible. Will I want to do, and that's why when people tell me, you've got to go back, I'd say no, I genuinely and honestly, I'm enjoying just being a free citizen. Because as far as I'm concerned, if you lay hands on that holy book and you swear to an oath to do something, put a gun to my head, I will only respect that oath.
Well, Professor Odinkalu did also share with me what he considered the greatest challenge in the way of the National Human Rights Commission. For the full length of the interview, you may log on to our website, channelstv.com, or watch any of our media platforms showing on your screen. You may also send feedback to hardcopy@channelstv.com or tweet @CTV Hardcopy. Thank you for watching today. I'm Maokbe Ogun.